Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Global Self-Love Project. My name is Mark J. Wagner, and our goal here is to create a community of happy, healthy people around the globe who are full of self-love and kindness. Today, we are addressing the topic of effective and healthy communication and why it is so important for all relationships. Like always, we will give you quite many tips on how you can improve your communication patterns and how you can use them in communication with pretty much everybody that you meet. And even when you are challenged with an aggressive communicator or an aggressive partner. All right, let's do this. Communication is really the foundation of any healthy relationship, yet unfortunately, many people struggle with communicating effectively. And this can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and even the breakdown of relationships completely. However, effective communication can be learned, and it is an essential skill for building and maintaining strong relationships. In this video blog, we will explore the rules for effective and healthy communication, as well as why most people were never taught how to communicate effectively. Most of us were never taught how to communicate effectively in school or at home. We simply learn to communicate by watching others, but unfortunately, many people model unhealthy communication patterns. For example, if we grew up in a household where our parents yelled at each other, we may think that yelling is an acceptable way to communicate our feelings. Alternatively, if we grew up in a household where emotions were not discussed, we may struggle to express our feelings and thoughts in a healthy way. And here's why effective communication is essential for healthy relationships. Effective communication is essential for healthy relationships because it allows us to express our needs, feelings, and thoughts in a way that is clear, respectful, and non-judgmental. When we communicate effectively, we can work through conflicts and misunderstandings, build trust and intimacy, and develop a much deeper understanding of ourselves and others. On the other hand, when we communicate in an unhealthy way, we can cause harm, create misunderstandings, and damage our relationships. And that counts true for any type of relationship, be it at work or at home or wherever. So now I would like to dive into the 8 golden rules for effective and healthy communication. Rule number 1, listen actively. Effective communication begins with active listening. The problem is that many people don't listen with the intention to understand, but with the intention to reply. So now, how do we listen actively? Well, we should maintain eye contact with the speaker. Also, ask clarifying questions to show that you understand what they are saying. Summarize their message in your own words to ensure you have understood it correctly. And avoid interrupting them and let them finish speaking before responding. Rule number 2, express yourself clearly. When you're expressing yourself, be clear and concise. Use I statements to express how you feel without blaming or accusing the other person. So use I statements to express your own feelings and thoughts. Use clear and concise language. Avoid blaming or accusing the other person. Provide specific examples to support your message. Rule number 3, use nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is just as important as verbal communication. Pay attention to your tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language to convey your message effectively. Now, use an open body posture. For example, keep your arms uncrossed and your shoulders relaxed. Make appropriate eye contact. Use facial expressions to convey your message, for example, smile or nod. Use hand gestures to emphasize your point. Number 4, avoid assumptions. Ask questions to clarify the other person's perspective. Avoid making assumptions about their feelings or intentions. And consider different possibilities and perspectives before making judgments. Rule number 5. Communication should always be respectful, even if you disagree with the other person's perspective. So speak in a calm, respectful tone. Avoid name-calling or belittling the other person. Listen actively to their perspective and show empathy for their feelings. And focus on finding a solution that works for both parties. Rule number 6. Take responsibility for your own feelings and actions. Avoid blaming others for how you feel and focus on finding a solution that works for everyone. Now, use I statements to take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. Acknowledge any mistakes or misunderstandings you may have contributed to. And offer solutions and compromises to move forward. Rule number 7. Practice empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspectives and feelings. Also, acknowledge their emotions and validate their experiences. And put yourself in their shoes and try to consider how you would feel in their situation. Avoid getting defensive. When we feel attacked or criticized, it is just natural that many of us become defensive. However, defensiveness can escalate conflicts and prevent effective communication. So try to stay open and non-defensive even when you disagree with the other person. Try to remain calm and non-reactive when responding. Also, listen actively to the other person's perspective and acknowledge any valid points that they have made. Now, I would like to share the 6 rules for communication with an aggressive partner or aggressive communicator. So, if you have a partner or a boss or whoever, a colleague who has a short temper or a tendency to being aggressive, then you might want to consider these 6 rules that we're going to talk about now. But first, please, when dealing with an aggressive partner, it's important to always prioritize your safety and well-being first, okay? Here are some appropriate actions for effective communication and conflict resolution with an aggressive partner. Rule number 1. Set clear boundaries. Let your partner know that their aggressive behavior is not acceptable and that you will not tolerate it. Be specific about the behaviors you will not tolerate, such as yelling, name-calling, or physical violence. Rule number 2. Stay calm. While it may be difficult to try and remain calm and composed during a conflict, it is absolutely necessary. If your partner is becoming increasingly aggressive, take a break and remove yourself from the situation until you both have calmed down. Rule number 3. Use I statements. Express your feelings using I statements rather than blaming or accusing your partner. For example, instead of saying, "You're always so angry," say, "I feel hurt and scared when you raise your voice at me like that." Rule number 4. Listen actively. Allow your partner to express their feelings and concerns without interrupting or dismissing them, which could only rile them up more. Practice active listening by repeating back what they have said to show that you understand. Or say, "I understand what you're trying to tell me. Thank you." Rule number 5, especially when dealing with an aggressive partner, avoid escalating the conflict. Resist the urge to retaliate or escalate the conflict by using aggressive language or actions. Instead, try to direct the conversation away from the problem toward a solution. All right, so number 6, seek support. And this is the most important one if you're dealing with a real aggressive partner. If your partner's aggression continues or escalates, it might be necessary for you to seek outside help. If you're not in an active conflict or danger, you can contact a therapist, counselor, or relationship coach to set up an appointment and just to discuss your situation or what you might be able to do. But should you be in a dangerous or threatening situation, you can actually reach out to the domestic violence hotline. I'm just putting the number here in the screen for support and guidance, especially during an active argument or conflict. Also, please do not hesitate to call 911 if things really escalate and there is physical violence or the threat of it. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness in your relationship. If your partner's aggression continues despite of your efforts to resolve conflicts in a healthy way, it might be necessary for you to reevaluate the relationship and prioritize your own safety and well-being. Because being exposed to such a highly stressful environment where you cannot feel safe, that can absolutely have long-term effects on your mental and physical health. So now, by following the rules for effective and healthy communication, we can build and maintain strong relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. And when we use healthy conversations regularly, we can actually go from this to that. And who wouldn't want that, right? So now, finally, let me say, in case you are in a relationship with an aggressive partner, we would like to also encourage you to check out our video on setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, because we think that might actually help you a lot as well. I hope that you got a ton of value out of this video log and that you're able now to communicate more effectively and avoid conflict. So, happy communicating to you all, and we will see you soon in one of our next videos.